Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, we're going to be talking about a lot of transfer news, a lot of transfer stories happening in the last few minutes around Arsenal. Arthur Melo, according to stories in Italy, Arsenal have met with the representatives of Arthur Melo once again. They would try to agree a deal with Juventus, but Gremio are also interested in the player. And according to sources as well, Arthur Melo has an injury. There's so many things to capitalize onto there and try to make sense of. We'll talk about Nuno Tavarez. Brighton are interested solidly in Nuno Tavarez. They see him as a long-term replacement of Marc Cucurella. They want him on a loan deal with an obligation to buy. We'll talk about Burnley now. There is still some friction between Arsenal and Fulham, according to Sky Sports, on an agreement for Burnley now. It looks like the players already agreed to join Fulham, but Fulham do not want to pay the £13 million that Arsenal asking for in that deal. And Barcelona can confirm now that they have two offers from two Premier League clubs at the moment for Memphis Depay. Arsenal, Man United, Tottenham Hotspur, all these clubs have been mentioned in that mix, but the offer is significantly below what Barcelona are actually asking for. So are Arsenal really part of this? I'm gonna be telling you much about that. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to 1,000 likes. Subscribe to the podcast as well. We're very, very close to 55,000 subscribers, and I'm really absolutely buzzing with the numbers. Now, let us start off with Arthur Melo and try to get this story out of the way, and also try to make some sense of it. Now, in the last few minutes, a couple of sources have said Arsenal have again met with the representatives of Arthur Melo to try and agree a deal with Juventus. Arthur Melo is happy to join Arsenal Football Club. He considers Arsenal and Barcelona as the two very realistic destinations that actually that he would actually want to go to this summer. Now, Juve do not have the player in their plans. They are very they are very easy on him. They're gonna be very easy on him in terms of letting him go. They will let him go. The problem here is that first and foremost, Arthur Melo, the deal is that Arsenal hope they can agree a deal with Juventus with a loan deal first plus an obligation or option to buy. So I think that is that is where Arsenal feel this could be an easier deal to do. This could be a cheaper deal to do in terms of all the money we've spent this summer. We might look to spend less, and probably the Arthur Melo deal financially, this is where it would make some sense. Take him on a season long loan and then pay later. But also, according to sources in Brazil, Gremio have also actually not inquired, but interested in signing Arthur Melo. Arthur Melo signed from Gremio to Barcelona, and then from Barcelona to Juventus in that swap deal between him and Milorem Pjanic. So at the moment, two clubs are interested in Arthur Melo. According to sources in Italy, Arsenal have met with the representatives of the player, and both parties would love to agree a deal for the player with Juventus. Gremio are also back in the mix. They want the player. There is no official interest now as of Barcelona. Of course, it was reported that Barca could be open to a central midfielder like Arthur Melo, but we're not very, very sure if they will try to come back and sign him. We know Xavi wants to sign Bernardo Silva. He has always been his priority. Whether they will get him, whether they will not get him, Arthur Melo is not a priority for Barcelona. So at the moment, it is also being reported that Arthur Melo, although he is on the market, he's still suffering struggling with an injury. And I would really ask myself if Arsenal should sign a player who has a massive injury. Yes, we signed Fabio Vieira with an injury, but that was a minor injury. He's now back in training. And that was, I think, just a little foot injury. But Arthur Melo has an injury. Do we go for him? In my opinion, we do not. But the player is not looked at as one of the key players at Juve at the moment, and he doesn't see himself as an important part of that squad come next season. Now, moving on to Tielemans as well. according to David Stein and of course Mikel Arteta, quoting what Mikel Arteta has been speaking about, Arsenal will try to sign Yuri Tielemans. Ben Jacob says this deal will get done after a couple of outgoings have been put out of the way. Now, Mikel this morning also said that a couple of outgoings will be leaving the club, and the process to tell some players that they're not going to be part of the project, they're not going to be an important part of the upcoming project has already started, and it's going to be very, 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 very honest. So I expect the likes of Lucas Torreira, I expect the likes of Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I expect the likes of Nicola Pepe, the likes of Victor Bellerin to be on their way out of Arsenal Football Club starting this July, actually starting today. Now there have been very, very many reports on Lucas Torreira. Yes, yesterday he moved he flew out of the Arsenal camp, and rumor has it that he was going to attend some transfer business. Now, what I can say here is that Mikel has said Lucas Torreira is our player. There is nothing more to that. We do not have any confirmations whether the player went out of camp because of an injury or because of a personal matter or because he is actually attending some transfer dealings. We cannot confirm that. But what we can confirm is that he flew out of the camp. And Mikel Arteta this morning, speaking to the media, has said he is our player. So the likes of Torreira, the likes of Ainsley are still blocking the Yuri Tielemans deal. According to Ben Jacobs, Arsenal have done this, this kind of strategy and criteria. They have done the more complicated deals first, deals that do not need outgoings to happen, and now the less complicated deals and deals that need outgoings will be dealt with last. So do not be very surprised if Arsenal first sign in a winger and then sign in a centre back and then eventually we sign in a central midfielder, because with Pablo Mari, you're very, very confident there that he will be leaving Arsenal Football Club, probably to Udinese, probably to Spain, probably back to Brazil. It will depend on where the offer comes in from. And when he gets out, you expect the likes of Edmond Tapsoba or Manuel Akanji to be linked with Arsenal once again. The likes of Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Lucas Torreira will live in that midfield. That is how Yuri Tielemans comes in. So Tielemans signing for Arsenal, very, very, very 100% green, back on. But the problem is that we need to get some outgoings. And after that, you will be seeing Yuri Tielemans as an Arsenal player. According to Ben Jacobs, we hope that that can actually happen. The complicated deals have been done. Now, Brighton are interested in Nuno Tavarez. I did report about this, but now they have intensified their interest in the Portuguese player. Now, their plan for Nuno Tavarez is actually on a long term. They plan to sign him initially on loan, but also with an option or obligation to buy if he actually does very, very well. Now, today we understand, according to Fabrizio Romano, that Manchester City have sent in their official bid for Marco Cucurella, £35 million, and that has been rejected by Brighton. Brighton value the player at around £50 million. So there is still a real hassle to make sure that the ripple effect actually works out, because Zinchenko, actually it could be Zinchenko, Cucurella, Tavarez. So that is kind of the ripple effect. Zinchenko forcing the Cucurella deal, and then the Cucurella deal forcing Nuno Tavarez. Now, in my opinion, look, I'm no expert when it comes to Brighton and their team, but I understand what Marco Cucurella has been providing them with. I understand that the kind of the kind of force, the kind of impact he has as a player on that attacking third. Losing Marco Cucurella and losing Yves Bissouma could be one of the most detrimental ever decisions to happen to Brighton. But in my opinion, they had nothing to do. They're always going to lose Bissouma this summer, and Marco Cucurella being picking up interest from big clubs like Liverpool, Arsenal, and now Manchester City. It doesn't look like they will be able to keep him. So is Nuno Tavares the player for them? In my opinion, he can give them probably 30% initially of what Marco Cucurella was giving them. But if they can keep on training him, coaching him, and believing in him, then I personally believe he can be a very, very good replacement for Marco Cucurella. He's a player that loves going forward. He's a player that loves exploring the spaces and just going wild and adventurous as well. If they brought him in, I think it would be a wonderful signing. But probably, in my opinion, you need two of them. If I'm Brighton, I would sign Nuno Tavarez and sign someone, because Nuno Tavarez is a risk that might work. If it works out, it will be absolutely beautiful. But if it doesn't work out, with a team like Brighton that is not always going to be on the ball all the time. Yes, they love possessing, but when you play the likes of City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, you might need to sit back a little bit, and you want to minimize as many is it minimizing as little or as many? I think as little errors as you can. And that is where you don't want a personality like Nuno Tavarez. So Tavarez wanted at Brighton. I think it would be a very good deal for the player and for Brighton as well. Now, Barcelona have said they have two offers on their table for Memphis Depay. That is not the problem. The problem is that these two offers are coming in from Premier League sides. And quickly around there, the two names gathering some moss on this one are Manchester United and Arsenal Football Club. Now, yesterday we did a video, or I did a video, and you guys got involved in the next winger at Arsenal. We talked about Memphis Depay, and I said if Arsenal want him, for me, they get him. This is a deal that cannot be blocked by any parties. If Arsenal wants him, Memphis Depay wants some game time, and he wants some kind of rescue from this kind of Barcelona prison that he is already in. And if he doesn't leave, the likes of Ousmane Dembele and Rafinha are going to put him in that kind of enclosed situation that he doesn't want to find himself into. So, in my opinion, it's a deal that could be very, very easy. But Man United have also been linked with the player. We understand that they are interested in signing Anthony from Ajax, but Ajax are really asking for a very, very hefty fee. They're asking for in excess of 70 million euros. We do not know who Arsenal's next winger is going to be. We have had a couple of names listed. Yesterday we talked about the likes of Noah Lang, the likes of Leroy Sané, the likes of Memphis Depay, the likes of so many names, Bowen, Pedro Neto. So we do not know exactly what Mikel Arteta or who Mikel Arteta is going to be targeting and who is going to be signing this summer. So Arsenal, Man United could be one of those clubs that have submitted, or could be both clubs have submitted an offer below 20 million euros. Barcelona would want around 25 million euros, but in my opinion, they have no option. If any club comes in with such kind of money, 17 million pounds, they will definitely sell Memphis Depay. They got him on a free. Yes, I think it's added some value ever since he signed from Lyon in the French League R. But 17 million pounds, that's good money. That's good money. And finally, according to Sky Sports, there is some kind of friction between Fulham and Arsenal. Now, there is high possibilities that a deal will actually be agreed on 100%. However, at the moment, Arsenal wants 13 million pounds in the sale of Burnley. Fulham are only willing to offer as much as 10 million pounds, and that should be add-ons included. Arsenal are not agreeing to that. They're saying a deal should be agreed in the region of 13 million pounds. Burnley has already agreed a move to Fulham. We are only waiting for Arsenal to come out of their comfort zone, accept a compromise. I think I said it before. This one will take a compromise, either from Arsenal or from Fulham. Fulham have reached their highest. Arsenal need to come to their lowest. We will meet somewhere. Real Betis are interested in want to pay 3 million euros for Hector Bellerin. That should be the last story we talk about. 3 million euros. Would you take it? I don't know. I don't know whether I would take it. But, I mean, we'll speak about it. We'll speak about it in the next one. Should Arsenal get the 4 million euros in Hector Bellerin and run?